Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing another Wet n Wild tutorial for you. This is going to be using the Walking on Eggshells palette. This palette's pretty much just got neutrals in it. It's a great everyday palette in my opinion, and all of these shades are really easy to work with. I mean, they're just really pretty and really natural for every single day. So I'm going to be using this, but I'm also going to be using a shade out of the L'Oreal Hip Studio Secrets Duo, and this is in the one Shady. As always, when I do my Wet n Wild tutorials, this tutorial is going to be all drugstore, so all of these products can be found at a drugstore or are very affordable. So if you'd like to see how I achieve this natural everyday look, then keep on watching.
First, I'm going to start off with a primer. I'm using Rimmel Fix Perfect Pro, and I'm just going to focus this around my nose and mouth because that's where my makeup has a tendency to budge. And then I'm going to apply a primer on my eyes as well, and this is the NYX HD Shadow Base. Probably my favorite eye primer. I even prefer this over the Urban Decay Primer Potion personally. And then I'm going to apply a foundation. This is my Neutrogena Healthy Skin. And this is a liquid foundation, but it does go on like a tinted moisturizer, so it has a really natural finish. And as usual, I'm applying this with a damp buffer brush from Real Techniques. Now to apply some extra coverage, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Mineral Power Concealer, and I'm just going to apply this on the little spots I have on my face and places that have just a little bit of hyperpigmentation, just to give some extra coverage. And you can buff this in with a brush, but I like just using my fingers personally. I'm also going to take some of the extra concealer and apply it around my nose. So while the concealer and foundation are setting, we'll start on the eyes with this L'Oreal Hip Duo in Shady, and I'm using a fluffy brush from Rock & Republic. And what you're going to want to do is take that flesh tone color and actually apply it to that brow bone. And I actually looked this up, and it's technically called the supraorbital bone, but it's just basically the brow bone that kind of protrudes from your face. And then next we're going to take the shimmery eyelid color from the Walking on Eggshells palette. A MAC dupe for this would be Naked Lunch, and we're going to apply it with a shader brush. I'm using this one from Real Techniques. And basically we're just going to focus this on the inner 2/3 of the eye. You can kind of take it up a little bit into the crease and into the inner corner, but it doesn't really need to be there. Just make sure it's really well blended. And next I'm going to go in with a Sigma E25 brush. A good dupe for this would be the MAC 217. And I'm just going to kind of blend out the edges a little bit into that blender color that we put down earlier. And then taking a clean shader brush, I'm going to apply that crease color from the Walking on Eggshells palette and apply that to the outer edges of my eye and kind of working my way into the middle of my eyelid, making it more saturated at the very corner. And then of course you'll want to do the same on the other eye. I like to start kind of at the bottom corner near my lash line and work my way up and in. And I kind of take it into my crease just a little bit with that shader brush and just really smooth it out. And if you find that you apply too much and you want more of that other color, you can always go back and apply a little bit more of that eyelid shade. And then you can take that fluffy brush from earlier and kind of blend that out so it kind of blends into the crease as well as into that creamy eyelid shade. Next, we're going to deepen it up with this matte shade from the L'Oreal Hip Duo. And I'm using a denser Sonia Kashuk brush, and I'm taking this little by little and kind of layering it up in the crease just to kind of darken it up a little bit more and make it more defined. You can choose to completely omit this step if you don't want it to be very dark at all. I just like to have a defined crease just because I feel like it adds more dimension to my eye. And the cool thing about the E25 is it's pinched, so if you turn it on its side, you get a more focused blending action. And then taking the shimmery brow bone shade and using a pencil brush from Sigma, I'm just going to apply this to my inner corner right in my tear duct. And I'm also going to apply this just underneath my brow, not too much because we don't want it to be overly shimmery up there. There's already so much shimmer on the eye. However, this really does lift the brow, and then by highlighting the inner tear duct, you're really just brightening the entire face. So this is a really cool step that I like to take. And then next we're going to take that crease color from earlier, and then using any small detail or brush you have, apply that to the outer 2/3 of your bottom lash line. I'm using this one from Crown. And then for liner, I'm going to be using this cream liner from Wet n Wild in black. And I'm going to be applying this with my Real Techniques liner brush. And normally this is a really easy to work with liner. However, I do think mine is kind of dried out a little bit. I've had it for a really long time. But otherwise, when it's not dried out, it's a fantastic liner to work with. And it's lasted me a really long time. And then next, I'm going to take a little tiny detailer brush from Eco Tools, and I'm just going to kind of smudge out that liner and make it a little bit more natural and kind of blend into my neutral shadows a little bit better. Next, I'm going to take a Milani Liquif'eye pencil in black, and I'm going to line my lower waterline. You can skip this step if you like. And then I'm going to apply a Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer underneath my eyes. And I'm just going to blend that out with my ring finger. I love this concealer. It's fantastic. And then taking a powder, I'm using this one from L'Oreal True Match, and I'm using a Real Techniques blush brush to apply it. And I'm just going to use this to kind of set everything as well as add some additional coverage. And then once everything's in place, I'm going to take a Milani blush in Luminoso, which is a peachy shimmery shade, and I'm going to apply this as well with a Real Techniques blush brush. Then I'm going to apply some lip balm. This is my favorite one from Jack Black in Lemon. And then while that's chilling, I'm going to curl my lashes with a Japanese eyelash curler and apply some mascara. And today I'm using the Voluminous Original from L'Oreal, which I always forget how much I adore this mascara, but then I use it again and I wonder why I don't use it more often. And then finally, I'm going to apply a Revlon lip butter in Berry Smoothie, and I'm going to apply this to my lips to finish off the look.
So that's the finished look. I hope you guys really like this. I think this would be really great for just an everyday makeup to either wear to school or to work or just to go about living your life. I really do love the Walking on Eggshells palette, and as you guys probably noticed, I did depot mine, so mine's actually my Z palette with all of my other favorite eyeshadows. Z palettes are really great for if you don't want to store a bunch of little palettes. If you guys have seen my makeup collection video, I do like to have single shadows stored just because if you're ever on the go and you just want to grab one shade, you can just grab like, 2 MAC eyeshadows that I like, just for every day to carry on or for travel. But if you have palettes and you really want one specific shade out of the palette, I don't like that you have to take the entire thing with you when you're not going to use all of the shades. So I personally really love being able to depot them and put them in Z palettes like this, and I can organize them any way I want to. And you can also put bronzers and blush in there if you want. So Z palettes are really great. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description box, and hopefully you guys can check that out. Basically everything else in this tutorial is pretty much drugstore. I really do enjoy the L'Oreal Hip Shady duo. I do really appreciate this. It's not the most exciting shadow duo ever, but it's so functional, and it could really help fix up any everyday look. I really think that without this, the look wouldn't have been nearly as nice. I do really recommend this duo along with the Walking on Eggshells palette, and honestly, if you feel a little uncomfortable buying both, just keep in mind they are very cheap products. They're very affordable. I can't remember exactly what I paid for this, but I know the Wet n Wild trio was only $3, so it's a great deal, and they're legitimately going to last you a very long time, and it's just a really good investment. I don't think you can ever have too many, matte dark shades or, flesh toned blender shades. I think those two are just absolute staples that everyone should have in their collection. And also, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the Milani Baked Blushes. I know I've talked to you guys about these before, but the one in Luminoso is just so incredibly gorgeous, and I can't, honestly, this is probably my favorite Milani Baked Blush, and it is very popular. It would look really great on a multitude of skin tones. I mean, it's just beautiful, and like, I'm sorry that I just swatched it on the palm of my hand because nothing shows up on my actual skin, but that's how it's just so pretty, and it has such a nice sheen to it, and I feel when I wear this blush, I don't necessarily have to wear a highlighter with it because it's got such a nice glow to it. I also didn't apply bronzer just because I wanted this to be very natural and very simple, but I think with the bronzer this would also look just as beautiful. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. Sorry I kind of lost lighting. I got this started a little late in the day. I hope you guys are having a fantastic summer. If you're still finishing up school, hang in there. You're almost done. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.